The following is a presentation of MRE UNO Division 2. Hello everyone and welcome back to MRE UNO's Medieval Mayhem here for the second division on the YouTube channel. We have a earlier morning matchup in terms of the East Coast here, but should only be a really good one this week versus two streams that you guys won't be there tonight. But got a high-seeded matchup, ranked matchup coming up here, and this one is going to be happening with the BLACKSMITH region. It's going to be number 2 seed SyntaxError taking on number 5 seed Tim. In terms of the overall rankings, from exiting out of 22, this is going to end up being number 4 going up against number 21. So got a ranked matchup coming up here. Big opportunity for both players to pick up a good ranked win here as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. So hopefully should be a good match here on this one. But let's get into the bracket for the BLACKSMITH region. Just kind of have a preview for this game, and again, Syntax and Tim coming up next, but you'll notice on the top first that we have a score but not a winner. And that's Dilemma and Meredith. That game is tied at 3-3 and ultimately had to split due to time constraints. So game 7 of that is going to be tomorrow at the same time as the match started. So we'll have a singular game to the side at 6 a.m. tomorrow between Dilemma and Meredith. Meredith looking for a big upset, with a huge win that could help their playoff chances. Dilemma looking to trying to keep defending his higher spot in the rankings here, and a win will do that. But this is the second match in a row Lemon has gone to the limit here, as he had a 2-hour brawl with goal in the opening round, and now not as long of a match. This one has only gone about an hour and 15 or so, but that one going to go to game 7, and that'll be decided tomorrow. Also, in terms of matches that'll be decided tomorrow, TK and Sports Boy, they'll be going on at 4 p.m. Eastern. So that matchup will have the opponent determined for the winner before it begins. But then for both, looking to try and keep things moving. TK looking to make it back to the round of 16. Sports Boy, I believe, looking for his first round of 16 appearance this season. And then at the bottom here, Classy and Nova with a Sunday start time of 1 a.m. So that's going to be a late night match. But also a very much a lower seeded brawl there, as it's 12v14. Again, kind of with this unique seeding format that's kind of allowing for there to be these specific matchups. And I think the bottom half of this bracket is kind of showing that, with this top half being a higher seeded matchup and the bottom half being a lower seeded matchup. So, I mean, whoever wins this next match here is guaranteed to have the home field no matter who wins the bottom one. So, we'll see how this goes, but this is also going to be a big match for both players in terms of the rankings here, as I mentioned before. So we'll just have to see how it plays out, but let's go to the table here. I'm joined by my co-commentator, Nifty, and wow, we have a big crowd for this one here. A few more people joined in between when I started this and when I loaded this in, but
Good
Nifty,
morning, MRE.
Yep, Nifty, welcome to the booth here. This is a ranked matchup here between these two players. I need the scoreboard. That was from yesterday's game.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, any thoughts on this matchup here? I mean, it's number 4 versus number 21 from the post-tournament 2 rankings here. For Tim, got a big win over Lavina in the last tournament. Could look for his second massive win of the season here. I mean, for Tim, obviously the rankings would change after tournament 3, but for Tim, having 2 top 5 wins on your resume could be huge. Um, for his chances, especially with him sitting at 3 wins at the moment, which he's kind of on the bubble as we
Mhm.
speak.
I think there's definitely huge potential for Tim to continue improving his postseason chances. He came in last season at the very last tournament and made it to regional finals. Um, but here he is up against Syntax, who made it into the actual finals of last tournament as their rookie run. So I think it's an interesting matchup for sure. There's a lot at stake for both players. You know, Syntax obviously wanting to keep up a strong run for second tournament. Tim wanting to prove that he can make it that distance and maybe even farther. And of course, improving the off-season ranking or postseason rankings with like you said, another big win. Um, I I think both players are on track to really show that they have a lot to give to this league, but unfortunately, one of them has to be cut in this tournament, and the other one will have to be left with tournament 4 as their last chance to show off that they really can claim a postseason spot. So a lot on the line here as we get further and further into these matches. I'm looking forward to this one for sure.
And again, I mean, you kind of mentioned for how both these players only one can advance and the other got tournament forward to get their last reps in before ultimately the final verdict. I think it's kind of an interesting split for because both these players are kind of fighting on 2 different tiers of the playoffs. For Syntax, definitely fighting to try to be in the D2 championship field outright. I mean I think with 7 wins it's pretty safe to say he'll at bare
Yeah.
minimum be the LCQ. So I mean he's not really too worried about that. But I mean 7 wins we get that finale run. You probably want to try to get into the D2 championship outright. And for Tim kind of battling on the LCQ bubble at the moment, but again, a win for both could be huge here. But we're gonna go to both players before we start. Syntax, I'm starting with you, higher seed. We saw yesterday your your ride or die from last tournament, Sam, actually went down in the round of 32 against Bree in a very close match here. You're up to the plate now on stream here, looking to kind of avenge him, but also kind of keep your run going, get your 8th win of the season. And you go up against Tim, who has shown in the last tournament he knows how to beat players who are higher in the rankings. Just kind of how are you feeling heading into this one here today, and just general expectations and or thoughts?
First of all, I'm glad to be back on stream. I missed it. I'm glad to be back. Second, uh, I'm nervous because honestly I think Tim is probably the second best opponent I've faced, only behind Sam. So I am a little bit nervous. I know Tim can make runs, and I'm hoping I do not. I'm not just a stone in that path. So I hope I can move on. I'm trying. My goal is to make it to the round of 16 for both of these next 2 tournaments. So I feel because I feel like 10 wins is enough to get a top 4 spot, maybe 1 or 2 more. That's my goal. So I hope I can get a bit of card luck, play well, and move on. So
All right, thank you, Syntax. Again, we'll have to keep track. We'll have to keep an eye out. I mean, in terms of the top 4, the line was the 4th seed from last season was 9 wins with a DQ win. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bar though, because it could change from season to season depending on how everyone else does. It could go higher, it could go lower. But see how that pans out. But uh yeah, going over to Tim here. Tim, you've kind of made a good rebound here after a disappointing start to the season. Tournament 1 got a good run going in Magi on March, and now you're looking to go on another one here, make it back to the round of 16. Um, any comments like going up against 2026 T1 did not happen. Well, unfortunately, the resume will say otherwise. But anyways, Tim, just kind of any comments here how you're feeling heading into this one. Second tournament in a row that in the round 32 you're facing someone who was in the finale of the prior tournament here. So, definitely a big match for you here. But we saw in the last tournament you knew how to handle it. So, just any comments for this time around on how you want to approach this one and just kind of what you're hoping to do today. And Tim will type their answer here, so we'll see what they have to say. We'll mention this also that Yepes will be our ref for this game here as well, so I'd like to thank him for doing that. But once we get Tim's answer, we will be good to get things rolling here.
Tim
Very
saying
yep.
very nervous. Yeah, we'll approach this one like all other matches and apologizes if he takes too long on some moves. Fair enough. Couldn't be as long as the bot issues we were having just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that is true. That was those delays were not fun. Also, I mean, to be fair, we also had Bree yesterday taking like 2 minutes to make a turn
Oh, well,
because of
Bree
the
matches
snow.
are
That
always
was
long by
absurd.
default.
Yeah. This match is okay, so I saw someone put a dino poll in lounge. It's like 6 a.m. this morning for the Dilemma Meredith match. I think it was red also. But because he asked the same question with that match as well as this one now, but I don't really think these are two players who necessarily are known for longer games here, so I feel like this is gonna be more of a lopsided pick. I don't like the line
Yeah.
of 2 hours. I like the line of 1 hour. 1 hour for these two I think is better. Anyways, um SyntaxError will have the call for game one. Well, that was more of Orochi as opposed to Syntax. And Syntax is going to go for the RNG and start with 6 here, so.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. If you don't have much of a preference, might as well roll the dice and see where luck carries you. We got a low card start to get game one rolling on a red skip.
Alright, Syntax is going to close the door on that immediately, but has a red to start things out. I mean, for Syntax, just kind of randomize the start here on this one, so this is kind of anything goes. But both have a red to start. Syntax follows up with a second. And
Ooh,
Tim is
early
out.
draw. I mean, Syntax has the run for now, but it's kind of hard to say how long that's going to go for. Still, it's
I mean,
enough of a lead where it could matter.
I mean, for Syntax, it was an important draw there from Tim to be able to get that switch, so. Not going to be able to do much after that, though. Going to have to draw on the green.
And they're stuck on the green. All right.
Alright, so no direct finish here on this 6-card start, as both are going to be in draw city early on.
Oh, it's just how the low card starts go. Sometimes they end up being the sets that take the longest. But I don't think that means we're going to be here for a long time. There's got to be a breakthrough point coming up soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for both, not feeling the cards at the moment, but Tim gonna break the draw city with a wild yellow. So that should get things back underway here, but we'll see what
I
both
don't know
end up
if we
in.
got anything. Oh, we got a skip 3. A little bit of a run. Nothing too crazy yet, but is this able to coordinate into anything? Another wild.
I think Syntax is going for the stall here. Both are at 5 cards. We were drawing before here. I don't think Syntax likes the current situation, so I would not be
Doesn't
surprised if we
want
get
Tim.
a double stall here.
Yeah, doesn't want Tim pushing too far ahead. They're both at 5. But was there more ammo that was being held onto? Or
Or is Tim just in agony that they're gonna have to draw again? They are taking a wild type though.
Still up in the air. Maybe a moment of indecision from Tim on if he really wants to use whatever could be used.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this game has not lasted too long at the moment. We're only past about 3 minutes.
Ooh,
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I know that's the finish. Was just typing it up and making sure he had it right as Tim takes down Syntax in the 6-card start.
Yeah, so that wild yellow actually ended up being ineffective there as Tim had the win there, no matter what. But ends up getting that 5-card run to the end there and lines it up. Was just kind of checking for the typos. That is what it be, and that would inflate the card strength metric, but we've also only played 1 game, so there's still a lot to go. But yeah, I mean, Tim, you were mentioning before how you were you had a comment during early on during the Draw City with saying these cards and pretty much just kind of being in anguish on that one. Was that before you ended up picking up some of these cards here that kind of helped you to the win, or was it that you just couldn't really find the lineup that you needed to get what you were wanting? Cannot find the lineup. Okay.
I'm guessing that yellow wild. Yeah. That draw must have been the thing to connect it all together.
Yeah, so I'm guessing based off that, I think Tim drew the +4 and the wild, and then had the +2s from beforehand. It's interesting. I mean, sometimes that's just kind of what it takes, especially when you kind of run low. That's sometimes just kind of what you need.
Well, I mean, Syntax did try to fight back by putting it back on green, was sensing the bad situation, but it was just, unfortunately, a little too late.
Yeah, that's just kind of that's how it plays out sometimes. But um, yeah, Syntax not much to comment there. Was there anything else you could have done besides the wild green, or was? But I feel like it probably not because I think you kind of wanted to stall there, but just kind of any comments. I think Syntax is typing.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm typing. I had like I think I had two blue skips and 2 blue 4s and then a green or something. So I mean I was worried Tim had blue. I mean if I had switched, if I used my wild 1 turn earlier, I maybe could have saved myself. Cause yeah, but I mean
Stray yellow.
Yeah,
yeah,
but that was
I,
such a hard read to get in that moment. Like, you
yeah.
had the stray yellow, yeah.
So it's rough, but I mean it's not over. I can still win this.
Oh,
It's only 1 game.
that is true. It is only 1 game, so still plenty of time to go. With that said, we'll go to game 2 here.
Are we gonna see more RNG?
Yes, and it's gonna be the opposite
Alright.
here, where it's one off from instead of one off from the lowest, we go one off from the highest.
90% send from Tim. Almost full throttle, but just holding it back.
And up red start. There we go. It's not, and it is not a red start, Yepes. It is a blue start. An incorrect prediction from Yepes there. He is currently 0-1.
lost the call.
Well, there's the red.
Oh, never mind. Syntax making it right. And we're
There
gonna
we
run
go.
here.
The obvious
All right.
response to Yepes there. Anyways, gonna keep going red on the numbers.
With so many cards in both of their hands, there's definitely a lot of options to parse through. I imagine at any moment they have the opportunity to swap colors, but it's got to be a measure of like how long and what ways do you want to swap as Tim takes the skips into blue.
Syntax is gonna roll with the blue for now. He had switched off the blue at the start here, but we'll still have some blue left over. But Tim with the lead at the moment, and slight mistake there, but gonna just fix
Do we
it.
got a
He'll
blue reverse in there?
actually, okay. So now Tim, that's two. Okay, so Tim actually made two mistakes on the first command, and then it's just like going all over the place here now.
Tim was so
Uh,
careful to figure out the typo on that finish and yet fumbling here.
there we
It's
go.
okay though.
Third
We
time's
get
the
a
charm.
recovery.
All right. I mean, that would have been more disastrous if it was like a red reverse where Tim had it and then accidentally exposed it. But the only thing that Tim exposed is that he does not have a red reverse, which I mean,
I don't know. That's still some sort of intel. Anything
yeah,
can be something the opponent can draw off of in the future.
that is true. It's just that's more that's more of a situational one though, as opposed to exposing the hand. But
Yeah, fair
um,
enough.
anyways, gonna keep going yellow here. Tim with the chains has kind of built up a bit of a lead here. Gonna be about 2.5
We got a
cards since it goes
ditto.
back and forth. Yeah, that's the first ditto of the series. Ooh, a little
Ooh.
chain here from Syntax. Syntax with that play will tie it up. Tim still has the position arrow lead though.
We had Tim with the skip from red to blue, and now Syntax with the skip from yellow to green. We've had 4 skips of every color show up already.
Both continuing to run it down. This is plan A for both right now. Been going through all the colors here, and Tim's gonna go back to that yellow with the wild.
Whoa!
Syntax says not so fast goes the blue.
We are going all over the rainbow this time. Do we got red somehow, or is Tim gonna make the best of this?
I don't see why we would go red wild. Based off what both of them are doing.
For the
Uh,
Skittles, nothing else.
that
Down here in
that
D2,
wouldn't
we
really
gotta
be it.
pull out the crazy streaks.
I don't know if that would count as a Skittles, but no, no. Wild Skittles would have to be. You would have to play a wild green, for wild Skittles to count because you have the green zero wouldn't count for wild Skittles.
Hmm.
There's been a +4 Skittles before, because someone had all +4/+4s and just decided to do
Oh yeah, like
one,
that's a
two, three,
fun way to try
four.
and
But
finish.
yeah, because Ghost did that in a long game, in D1 I think 2 years ago. But that was more of a formality as opposed to a crazy moment. And
Okay, we did
ooh,
have a
okay,
+4.
I guess why Sim took a while because I think maybe they were thinking whether to use it there or not. And so does Syntax, so
Ooh,
both just kind
yeesh.
of evening things out. And Tim draws.
We've been fighting between yellow and blue, staying on blue for now, as Syntax is finally making a bit more headway on this color. Had to burn the +4 to do it, though.
Well, I mean, Syntax is getting the color he wanted, though. Tim gonna maybe try to look to get back to that yellow. And Will on the 9.
Whoa.
Listen, I'm on cue for a lot of things. I rarely miss, so. Anyways, yeah, about to hit 6 minutes here, on the clock. Syntax able to play the yellow, so kind of in a slightly better spot as opposed to Tim with the color Syntax is preferring. But we'll have to see how Tim approaches this now that they have their color that they're wanting. And it does not last long.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Ironically, I feel like now Tim's just kind of playing into Syntax's hand because Syntax has another yellow he plays off of.
Well, I don't know. There's still the potential that Syntax was holding on to another blue to get rid of, but not entirely sure.
We'll have to see here. This will be good for Syntax if he gets the win. We'll tie it up 1-1.
Very critical moment for Tim, taking his time to type out whatever play he's making.
This
Feels
could
like it's going to be a small run.
I don't think
It's
that's a small
more than a
run.
small run.
It's a 5-card run with a +6, and Syntax is suddenly at 15 cards. No, wait, that was a
Yo,
+12, actually. No, because the yellow +2 was there as well. I missed the yellow +2 there, but yeah, that's a big swing from Tim here. We'll have to see how Syntax responds. But big
pushing
move
it
by
to
Tim.
green, close to a finish. Syntax having to parse through a whole new deck of cards
Well,
to
well,
figure out
let's
what needs to happen.
Well, let's see if Tim's close to a finish here, because I mean, this could be one where this is always an interesting one because sometimes you want the opponent to throw things back at you, but sometimes you have the lineup. It kind of just depends. Syntax not going to take any risks and it's just going to throw a +4 down. But again, I like that. I like that Syntax is not throwing too many cards here, especially if he has the option to, because sometimes you don't want to just dump everything right away. You want to hold on to it
Yeah,
as you go along. But
yeah, they're definitely measuring the amount of retaliation that's needed to try and even out the game more. Maybe throw off Tim of whatever sort of plan was happening there. Swapping colors once again, really testing what cards are in each other's decks now. If there's a color to stay strong on or something to divert away from.
Tim drawing on blue had one play there, but ran out afterwards. Back up to the 3. That actually
Ooh,
allows Tim to get out of there.
and they had to ditto.
Switch the green here. This is what Tim wanted beforehand.
Tim back down
At
to
least
3 cards. It's getting close again.
I guess this is now a good question here of whether Tim would have been able to get the Uno. We may have to wait and
Whoa.
see on that one as it's a crossover back into red.
That's a draw.
Tim at 2 cards. Syntax looking to get down to 4. He does. They do. Yeah, now Tim kind of in no man's land at the moment.
Syntax has the number efficiency to keep running it down. Is this going to last into a finishing play for Syntax, a big turnaround.
Well, they're running the numbers right now and doing so effectively. Tim not able to do much here. We're past 10 minutes here. Tim with another draw here. Syntax not quite at Uno, gonna run out at 2.
Close. It's just what color are they both hoping to land on to finish it out on? We get to yellow. It's not Syntax's color. Tim was able to break free a little bit longer with the yellow 4, but it's going to be stopped here for now. Is Pim cooking? Where's Pim? Pim showing up in the kitchen. Syntax with a 7. Tim with a 1. Might have been just a top deck for each of them, but Syntax able to swap off with that 1. And so's Tim.
We get a ditto there on that one. Blue 1 would have been the rainbow. We're gonna stay on green. And Syntax
Oh, and
exit
that's
on
it.
green.
The green was the magic color. Managed to work over there and take the game.
12 minutes 14 on that one, but Syntax got it tied up after a decently long game. But yeah, gets it done there on the green. Able to capitalize on the switch that they wanted also, but gets the win there. Syntax, I mean, that was a long one there, but able to stick it out and get the win. There were definitely a lot of ups and downs during that game. Up obviously the ups being the win there, and also just kind of being able to play some defense with the back and forth, but also downs with like the +12 being thrown at you. Just kind of walk me through your thoughts here at that game there, and just kind of how you were able to get that one done.
I'm gonna be honest, that game was a bit of a blur. I know Tim got low a few times. I got worried. Played some defense with some +4s. Then like the colors, they were just everywhere. I was just running them down, and I got lucky that with what Tim played near the end, so I was able to get rid of all of them. So
All right. Tim, I mean, you were close there. I mean, you were thinking a few times throughout that series. There was points where you kind of drew. There were points where you had a big play there. Was there anything you felt maybe you could have done a little bit differently in that series to maybe have, or not the series, in that game to maybe have a different outcome in that one to be at 2-0 instead of 1-1? Not really. Either be aggressive or I'll be defensive. Chose to be aggressive and lost all my ammo at the wrong time. All right, so womp womp. Yeah, Tim going for the more aggressive approach there and ended up not panning out. But thing for Tim is Tim has the call for game 3 here, so they'll get the home stand now. It is tied up. Ipez continuing to try and figure out these players' names here, but Tim gonna go with
Yepes
the
lost the
saving.
reading glasses.
Yepes has the saving. No, 7. There you go. Yoji start.
All right, we're starting with salvation amount of cards.
Yepes did not get a wild start there. Got a green 9.
It's gonna be 0 for 2. Will Yepes get any calls right by the time this series ends?
We'll see, but Tim with no green off the start is not a good start for him. We'll have to see how Syntax approaches this, because Syntax has a green off the start and just one, so not much green to be found on the initial shuffle here.
Wow, okay. I mean, it's still a lower card start, but I'd expect them to have at least a few more options. Just like Arizona, nothing green to be found. Maybe that's a hint that we're going into the red. I think Arizona has some red on it, some of the rocks.
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, I mean, Tim is kind of going for a more aggressive approach here, also with the ammo, because I mean, he just threw down a +6. So Syntax gonna get thrown back quite a bit, but Tim doing what he can to get out of that green, because the initial draw there was not looking great for him.
If there was if that was the only green card that Tim had, I can see that being a more reasonable play too, trying to get out of that color with the chain while you can. But I don't know, maybe there could have been a way to try and work it backwards into a finish. Either way, the cards are gone. And Syntax is forcing the Bree Gambit on Tim.
Yeah, taking a page out of Bree's book here. Tim is having a hard time deciding between the two choices, which is yeah.
John Bree on the board. We can never escape the Bree chaos, no matter what match we're playing in this league.
Okay, so Tim has put it in a randomizer, and yes was the first option.
Answering the RNGer with another RNG answer.
Oh,
And that's going to
my
be a
goodness.
yes to double wild +4. Setting Tim back 8. It is now 10 to 13 on the card count. That's huge aggressive ammo use early on in this match.
I am not a fan of that move, to be honest, because you just wasted a +4 to just throw 4 additional cards there, which you could have used for another color switch there. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I don't really love those moves that often. So yeah, I mean
Green zero
that's
gone.
partially why, because I mean that switch is gonna negate the blue right away.
I mean,
Well, hold on,
what? There was
gotta
still an
switch back in the
option.
blue.
Okay, so Syntax had the bet on 0 and had the means to get off of green specifically. I don't know about any other color, but turned out to be a decent bet. Still running it.
we got. I feel like we've been getting a few too many people trying to rickroll each other in the last few days. But uh, is one down here from Tim. Tim gonna let Syntax have the blue for now. That was just from blue.
Yeah, I don't know how much crazy ammo they got left in their decks, or at this point how willing they would be to throw it out there. Syntax especially feels like they would just work closer towards a finishing play at this point rather than throw it. Never mind, we got more +2s on the board from Tim.
Tim is full committed to the aggression here. He is throwing every card he can at Syntax, and Syntax gonna switch it into red.
Aggression is the name of this game. For sure. Anything that they have, they're throwing it out. Are they saving anything? I mean, clearly they've been saving some, but
Well, Tim taking a while to type. Maybe has another run coming. Syntax gonna set their name to Syntax. And Tim's out on red. No red.
wow, okay. But it doesn't matter, we get a swap over to green. And now Syntax is the one having to draw.
Yeah, Tim able to flip the situation here with the switch to green.
Okay, top deck. Red is desperately calling out for a color switch right now.
Got a self-arrow there on the green one. That's gonna try to force another draw out of Syntax. And it will.
Alright.
Tim in a similar spot to where they were before now. Let's see what Tim does. Does Tim keep it red, or maybe does he have a switch? He
There's
does
a
have
switch.
Goes in the yellow.
I don't think we've seen yellow yet this match.
No, we saw it for a little bit.
A little bit.
Ooh,
And we're
+2.
seeing more of it now.
Quick slap there from Syntax. Not really wanting Tim to enter yellow without some kind of penalty.
There's always a price to switching.
Well, Tim just kind of negated it.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Is there going to be another color switch tax? Is Tim the tax man this time?
It only applies to him.
Syntax has that tax break.
Oh my goodness, it's he's playing the system, and Tim's gonna have to draw. Syntax able to play those, so now both are tied at 5.
Interesting. If they've saved any ammo for a finish, anything that could create even just a 2-card run to the end.
Well, we get to switch the red here. Tim taking a minute to type. Scoreboard's flipped from what it was 2 turns ago. And Tim double play but
What?
draws.
Okay. Just trying to get the cards out of there, I suppose, but if there's no other way to connect to the red and you're hoping for a swap anyhow, I guess it's not the worst move. It's just burned ammo. Yellow Wild.
That's a big top deck there from Tim. We'll see if it ends up being effective or not. And for now, it will.
It is. What's the next move after that? Just a yellow 3? Maybe hoping for some sort of color swap and to finish?
I don't know. Syntax is now realizing why you should not do double +4s in a row.
The Bree Gambit coming back to bite. Who could have predicted?
Okay. Gets the switch there on the 6, though.
It's going to be into blue. Does Tim have the number efficiency on 6, or was he hoping for a little bit longer on yellow?
Let's see what Tim has, because this could either be GG's or Anguish. No, it's a crossover back of the yellow.
He had the 6.
Had the coverage, and I think that's gonna do it.
Maybe. It really depends on what this last card is. We got an eye
No.
staring at us as he draws one from the deck.
I'm surprised by that one because I feel like Tim lined it up the way he wanted to, but doesn't have the finish there. I'm a little surprised by that one.
Same here. I was no ammo saved for a finish like that. Unfortunate, but it's just how it's gonna keep running.
I would have thought it maybe...
There's still a lead for Tim, but at this point he's just hoping to draw the right cards.
Yeah, I mean for Tim, I thought it would have been a run to finish on yellow there, but apparently not, as Draw City keeps on going.
Okay, we're off of yellow. We should be done with draws for now, right? Looks at Tim. Okay, we got a skip and then a draw. And
then a
red.
wild.
What?
Oh man, okay.
Neither of them wanted to stay there very long. Okay.
That's gonna be a disaster for Tim if that draw ends up being green. And Tim's still drawing.
Ugh.
That is a very bad expose to have there. No, goes back in the yellow, gets another top deck yellow.
What is going on?
Tim with a yellow another yellow 3. Syntax top decks the yellow 5. And
Okay,
Tim has another
keeping
yellow.
a run on yellow again, but I think we already know where this could be heading.
I think this has to be a switch here because I mean there was so few
You'd hope
draws in
so,
between.
right?
There were so few draws in between this and the when we were in Draw City and then the switch off yellow. So I don't think Tim would have a lot here unless they were just doing a very long hold, which I mean would be curious as to the move there on that one. Oh my goodness, that's it.
Dang. And another +4 comes out to coordinate with the blue to finish it off with all the aggression that was there. Still finding a way to get an ammo finish.
And that one ends up being longer than game 2 as well, nearly 14 minutes there, but yeah, I mean, you know, for Tim, the patience worked out there, but also able to get got 2 top deck wilds and Actually, no, top deck +4. So, Tim, were you holding on to that wild from before and then got the +4 and that made you want to go for the move there? Is also part of Draw City. No, but like, what was the final draw? The draw before the wild yellow. Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
it was the +4 then.
that
Okay.
was it.
So yeah, I think the +4 was +4 gave the lineup there where you had the two colors and Tim was ready to go for it there. So yeah, you mentioned you had many finishers foiled. Is there any specific ones you want to point out to, that you were hoping to get it done, but then Syntax did something to kind of prevent you from getting the end? +2 chain, and it was like a reverse. Okay. Then hoping he would draw. Okay. I think I kind of remember. I think I kind of remember what that was, but I know that Syntax. I think Syntax responded with ammo there. Yeah.
Yeah, very aggressive game. I actually want to throw it over to Syntax. Do you think that feeding into the aggression there hindered you? Like if you had saved your ammo more often, you would have been able to find a better way forwards, or was that just a case of unlucky draws towards the end?
I mean, the double having two +4s probably would have helped, but I don't really regret it. It was funny. I played to have fun. Um, I mean, I didn't get the worst draws. I had a lot of connecting cards until I was, given more cards. Um, so my hand wasn't bad, but it wasn't enough to finish.
All right, fair enough. Um, I do have to agree with you, G, that in hindsight, some of those cards probably could have been saved, especially that double +4 play. But I mean, down here in D2, sometimes it is just more about having fun with the games than it is about trying to win every one of them. So I can get Syntax's point of view there. It was a fun match.
I mean, there's a way to accomplish both though. But we'll have to see how this plays out. Whether that'll be a series defining move or if that'll just have be for the moment.
At the very least, both of them still got their power plays here. So
Hmm.
a lot that can still happen to close out a potential series win on either side.
All right.
I
Well,
think
full send
Tim
here for
going for
game
the full
4.
send here, 15.
And there's your wild +4 start. So Soup has had it at one later.
Do we get culture or do we get war?
Tim has the first move here, so we shall see.
Red has no faith in Tim. Tim crying on the board.
All right, Tim will
We're
elect
going
to not
blue.
do it and goes for the blue 4. Yeah, Tim is not in VUO, so no way I lied. Tim is in
And
VUO.
that's gonna mean war for Syntax with a double blue skip into 6.
I lied. Tim is in VUO. Um. Anyways, I mean, that 3-card run's gonna give Syntax a lead here, but Tim's just gonna keep on rolling with blue. Basically what it is people like drawing on the start on like the first turn when it's a wild or +4 start. You technically don't have to do it, but it's a thing that people like doing.
It's a little tradition thing, just to like extend the start to one more.
Well, that's true. Laguna does not do culture, so. But yeah, we're gonna keep going on blue here.
I think it's a fair enough call. With this many cards, and if you know that you have a ton of one color that you want to burn through, just go for it. Take control of the game. It doesn't always have to be about the culture.
Oh, well, Syntax is out on blue.
What's Tim's follow-up here? On a blue 9, knowing that Syntax doesn't have more blue, we switch over to red anyway. Opening up the door for Syntax to keep playing. It does cut down the lead a little bit. They're, I think, tied at card count now, but still a whole slew of possibilities on this new color. Nothing too crazy yet, but with how these two players have been going, I'm not I'm not expecting it to stay calm for too long.
Alright, well, Syntax had double red 1 there. But Tim's still going on with his plan A. If he could get the win here, would make it 3-1 and put him at match point. Syntax is out on
Whoa.
red, so Syntax is out on red and blue. This is not good for Syntax here because Tim kind of has now free reign over both colors, and I feel like with Tim kind of controlling the switch from blue to red, this is gonna be, this has become a 3-color game and could end up being a 2-color game soon enough if Tim dries out the red as well.
A lot at stake with this switch into yellow, freeing up more for Syntax again. What kind of cards do we got this time?
You have to leave? Okay.
A reverse sugar.
That is, yeah, that's true. Long game. Red, could you take over riffing? Okay. Anyways,
Tim and Syntax still keeping it calm on yellow for the most part. We had a brief little run there, but Yepes leaving the board. Thanks for reffing for as long as you have already.
alright, well, everyone wishing their goodbyes to their code names, but we keep this game going with Tim drawing on yellow.
Oh, dang. Now Tim's the one to draw, and Syntax has the push.
See what Tim does here. Maybe looking for a switch. We haven't seen blue yet. Might be looking for a. Oh, no, we haven't seen green yet. I lied. We haven't seen green yet. Maybe could be looking for something there. We'll see.
There's
We
the
can.
green you were talking about after a huge chain from Tim to set back Syntax.
It's kind of interesting though because you see that Tim had that red +2 there and elected to hold on to it from before, and Syntax gonna immediately throw a +2 back to throw a few cards Tim's way once more, but Tim's still with the lead after that and on green. Another ditto here on the green one.
Play.
Green 5. Okay. Still running it down on this color. Might as well. I'm sure they both got a good amount of it left in their hands, but for Tim, it's a matter of whether or not he's got the finish on this color. And he does.
He does. Wow.
He
Got
does.
it right there. 752 there, and Tim's up 3-1 in a good spot to maybe take this series here. Had the +4 there, and the +4s have actually been even throughout this series so far, which is kind of a bit interesting. But Tim able to find whatever it may be there. Had one draw in that entire game, and that draw ends up helping to a Plan B win. Tim, my first question is, what was that draw that kind of helped you get to the win there? Because you drew on yellow, but then suddenly had that 4-card play to go into green with the wild. But what ended up being the draw there? And then you had a +2 as well. One top deck where I got the +4. Why was there ever since? Was that the draw, or was that the draw, or was that the +2 you got the +4? Because you drew 3 cards, one of them was a self draw.
2 to 13 on +2s. I
Yeah,
didn't even notice it.
self draw. Okay, so the +4. That's another top deck plus. There's another top deck wild from Tim there. So able to find those, but yeah, 2 to 13 on the +2s has definitely been a big difference maker here. Tim able to do a lot of those chains. Then we get a +6 and even a +12 one time. Syntax only be able to throw a I guess in their terminology, attacks with those 2 +2s. So
Syntax, did you have anything else that you were holding back there, or were you just trying to get rid of a bunch of green like Tim?
I had all numbers after my +2. Actually, I had a red reverse still. But
Alright,
other than that, it was all numbers. I had an even number of red, green, and yellow at the end there. So
just trying to
yeah,
wind it down. I get it.
I didn't really have much of anything that time. With Red's question, I mean, I feel like I had even worse deficit with tricolor. So I won that one, so it's definitely not over. But it's not looking great. I just need to get a bit of luck. And I have before, so I definitely believe I can get the luck to turn this around. I mean, again, if it happened, the two halves of a series can be totally different. They can be in opposite directions. So, because the luck's not dependent on the other games, so it's basically a clean slate kind of. But I can't lose a game. So
Yeah. Stakes are high for keeping the run alive for Syntax here. Gotta win the next 3. Still both players with a power play, so there is potential to at least keep a run alive for Syntax, but there's also the risk for Tim to pull it out and end this at any moment, so definitely Tim's favor as we go into a 10-card start on the RNG.
Tim going back to the RNG here, and I got to go for straight down the middle. And similar to game one, we start with a ammo card on red. This time it's going to be a reverse, and once again, like the first game, Syntax going to shut the door on that one and play a number.
Hmm. Okay, keeping it calm for now. I'm gonna guess that neither player has any significant ammo to start off with red. Yeah, we got to swap into blue already.
Yeah, I mean for syntax, it's gonna be trying to keep things rolling here because doesn't want to afford falling behind, especially with the current situation.
It is do or die. Every match is do or die now. Pushing ahead is more critical than it's been. No
For right,
more opportunities for a same color double +4. It's
hmm
got to be playing with purpose.
yeah. Well, for right now, it's just been all numbers so far. We'll see if Tim mixes that up here. Well, technically he did, but not in the way he wanted. Gonna have to draw, and syntax is out as well, so double draw here on the blue 4. Oh my god,
Okay.
no way.
That's another top deck wild.
Yeah, I mean, for syntax right now, he's just got to be sitting there scratching his head, like, what do I gotta do? Because that's like the
Oh,
third top deck wild of some variety that Tim has gotten in this series.
think Tim's got a magnet or something going on. Were we watching when Yepez and Red swapped to the ref seat? What was going on here?
No clue, but switch the yellow here. Syntax looking to try to disrupt. Tim taking a second. And Tim's
The
gonna
power
power play, and I
play!
think that's gonna do
No
it.
way! No!
Well, I mean, again, not over yet. We have seen this fall apart before.
But with how much the ammo's been coming out, I feel like this is it. Not a guarantee, but we'll see it.
Yeah, I don't expect Tim to play for a little bit here because I think they're gonna try to do something similar to game 1. Yeah, yellow skip, red skip. I think they have the lineup to the finish. It's just about executing on it.
Taking his time, making sure there's no error with triggering the power play.
Syntax tries the power play, but
Syntax
cannot.
can't use it defensively. I mean, fair
Tried to
enough.
find a loophole. And wow, that's a second wild that ended there as well. And Tim picks up his
Oh,
second
man.
big win of the season and gets it done with a wild flurry there.
That's 4 to
But
1.
yeah, I mean, the 13-2 difference on the +2s ended up going a long way to help out Tim there, and then 7-3 on the wilds. I mean, wow, that is quite the way that ended there, but Tim gets it done, moves on for syntax. Unfortunate end to the run there. Was it looked to be also be close there. Unless that was more of a defensive move, but Tim, you get the win, and again, it's a draw into a wild there. Was it a similar situation as to before, where the wild was not actually the top deck, but rather it was a +4 that you used to help get the win later on? Oh man.
Oh, oh my gosh.
2 wilds at the start. Just kept managing to find them.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean, it's like Syntax said, the luck does not, it does change from game to game. You're not guaranteed to be lucky like this throughout a whole series, but in this case, it really was just Tim finding the options when he needed them, and Syntax being a turn or two too late with their responses to push ahead. Syntax, you said that you were going to use the power play. What was your plan to use it in this last match here?
I had a +4, a yellow skip, a yellow 9, and a yellow 1. So I was just gonna finish up that game, but I was a turn too late.
Once again, yeah, just a play that could have come a turn earlier and it would have won you the game, and it didn't. How do you feel about this series and taking on a loss like this? You still managed to make it to round of 32, but it's a lot earlier leaving than you were last tournament.
I mean, I was hoping to at least make it to the round of 16. Didn't do that. Now I have to do a bit of catch up next tournament if I want to get top 4. So it's rough. But luckily, a lot of the other top players falling early, like Sam and Lavina, possibly Delemon. So I'm not incredibly worried because I it's not as much ground as I would have thought I would have to catch up on if I lost in the round of 32. So it's not. I don't feel terrible. I mean, the luck wasn't there. I of course, game 3. Definitely having a few regrets about that now. But what can you do? What's done is done.
Mm-hmm.
Game over.
Game over. Okay, April. Anyways, yeah. I mean, again, that's gonna be how the series goes here. I mean, Syntax did mention, also though, a lot of the higher ranked players have dropped down early, but I think the Nifty, kind of going back to you, that's gonna create a bit of a interesting scenario going into tournament 4 here, because I mean, you look at the field. Lavina's, I mean, especially looking at the top 10 itself, Lavina's out, Sam was out this round, Delemon is on the fence of being out, has a game 7 tomorrow. Syntax is
Yeah,
now out.
I mean,
Devin didn't even play. Gabriel's out.
this
The only
whole
person in wait a
season,
second, the only person in the top 10 still in is Cage. Everyone else in the top 10 is out of the tournament or didn't even play.
this whole
Well,
season
Ed's
so
11.
far has felt like surprisingly even. Like there's definitely players that are pulling ahead, but like I don't think there's any top player that's breaking out after T3 here. I guess we'll see what the standings look like um after this tournament still, but going into T4, we still got plenty of this tournament to play, but there's a lot of good plays happening from several players. The runs are not all handing down to like the same person tournament after tournament. So I think it's going to be a very interesting postseason field.
This is going to be a very tight field also, especially at the top, because I think with a lot of these players on the top losing, it's going to open up the door for a lot of these people who might be like looking on the bubble or maybe a little bit outside to kind of start crawling in here. Because I mean, again, there's technically 2 bubbles in terms of the playoffs: the D2 Championship bubble, then the LCQ bubble. The LCQ bubble is the hard cutoff, but I know a lot of people are going to want to try to be in that top 10 for
Yeah.
the D2 Championship, because that just makes things so much easier. But um, again, this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out as we go along. But a lot of the higher ranked players dropping out early in the first 2 rounds is going to leave things a lot open. But I mentioned with Cage being the only top 10 player, I guess, besides Dilemma, because Dilemma's like a TBD, but that might also put a lot more pressure on Dilemma to win that game 7 tomorrow, also Nifty, because that's going to be a huge advantage for him if he can keep on
Yeah.
moving on in this tournament with so many of his contenders being
Yeah.
out of the running, and him
Even a
being currently
round of
the
16,
yep. Mm-hmm.
even getting to the next round and dropping is going to be significant for Delemon. So just getting this one more win is going to be more significant than I think a lot of us thought.
Yeah, because he's currently the highest ranked of the non-tournament winners. Because I mean, for the tournament winners, obviously, like losing early sucks, but I mean, they have that guarantee of being in the D2
Yeah.
Championship. It's more just kind of a seeding thing, but yeah, we're gonna have to see how this pans out here. A lot of interesting developments here in this round. I mean, for Tim, also a huge win for Tim here. Because now Tim has a win over Lavina and Syntax, so I win on currently number 1 and number 4. So I mean, that's 2 huge wins for Tim, and he was coming into this tournament ranked number 21. So I mean, for him, I mean, he's kind of really propelling himself back into the picture here. Kind of any thoughts on Tim moving on to the next round? Not gonna quite at the moment, not gonna have quite as big of a resume win for whoever he faces, because it's gonna be winner of Nova
Yeah.
Classy, but just kind of any thoughts on how this is panning out for Tim here
I
right
mean,
now.
there was a good deal of luck going into Tim's win here, but it's still going to reflect well on the postseason rankings. I think cementing that even further, Tim getting another regional finals or better performance in this tournament would really cement him. So I'm looking forward to the next match. I'm hoping that Tim can reach regional finals again, personally. He's shown that he has potential to do well and hasn't found that run yet again, but I think this could be it. The mayhem has been continuing and it's not gonna stop. I think that much has been made clear with this stream here, so I'm glad that I could be here for this match. And yeah, fun one. Even though it went 4-1, it was a very active and back and forth on a lot of these matches.
Yeah, for sure. Always a pleasure to have you on in the commentary booth, but that will do it. This match did not go over 2 hours here, which is why I also mentioned that I don't think the 2 hour line was a very good one. But anyways, going back to the bracket here, Tim moving on in a 4-1 win will face the winner of Nova and Classy. And again, we'll see how the rest of this Blacksmith region goes. Game 7 tomorrow for Dilemma and Meredith at 6 a.m. sharp. And then TK Sports Boy also tomorrow at 4 p.m. And then Classy Nova on Sunday at a crisp 1 a.m. So a great time for people in Asia and the Pacific Coast, everywhere else. Gonna be either a very early one or a very late one, depending on where you're at. But that'll do it for this stream. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back later tonight with one more stream for the day. That one will be let me just double check to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. That one will be Blue and Odd. So it's gonna be a lower seeded matchup here, and it's gonna be one of the two rookies remaining or debutants left in the field. Odd and Danny, the only two debutants to survive the opening window. So we'll have to see if they end up going on a run similar to Sam and Syntax from last tournament, or if the debut trend will come to an end. But Nick will be joining me for that one later tonight. But make sure to tune in for that. Otherwise, that'll be it for us. Thank you for watching. Half the MRE UNO team, including myself, commission team, our ref Red and Yepes, who kind of did a tag team there, commentator Nifty, and everyone else gave it the watch. Thank you all so much for watching. Congrats to Tim on the victory. We will see you all later tonight for Blue and Odd. Until then, I'm G-Man. Peace out and take care, everybody. We will see you all then. Have a good one.